right. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into the next caller. This one believes in ghosts and also thinks COVID-19 was leaked from a lab. Okay, so those are
Should we
two.
focus on one?
Yes, we need to focus on one. All right, so Johnny, I'm going to let you pick which one. You're on with Ethan and Laura. How are you?
Oh, okay. I guess ghosts, but to address that last caller, she should be a libertarian, not a liberal or a conservative. Libertarians are much better.
Really, libertarians just seem like diet Republicans to me.
So diet Republicans that believe in open borders and gay marriage and are anti-war.
Okay, this is getting quite political quite quick.
Political is okay. We can get as political as we want. I just suggest we pick one avenue and stick with it. Yeah. We can either go, because ghosts and politics, those are
totally separate,
wildly different topics. Yeah. So which would you prefer to talk about, Johnny?
I guess ghosts.
Ghosts it is.
Awesome.
Well, then you know what?
And I've never had like a weird experience. I never had a paranormal experience, but I just kind of feel like ghosts are real, and I just kind of decided to embrace it. And so, I don't know, it's not like it's a rule.
It's just something you
I can believe in ghosts if I want.
Sure,
so real quick, since you did want to talk politics, I'm totally going to suggest if you enjoy your call today, call back again and we'll do politics next time. So you said you feel like ghosts are real. Why do you feel that way?
I don't know.
What has happened that made you believe ghosts might be real?
Just the basic concept of it, I think just that, there's things we can't see that are just, flying around, and maybe we just haven't discovered it yet.
So if we wanted to explore that they are real, what would we do? Like, what would be the avenue that we would use to explore that claim that they're real and actually confirm that they are real?
Oh, I guess just keep exploring the world.
So it kind of goes along with the whole idea of just about anything, right? Like aliens or God or ghosts or angels is just keep existing until it pops into existence, or just keep looking until you find it? Is that kind of thing?
Well, what do you mean existing until it pops into existence?
So we just keep going and doing our day-to-day thing. We keep existing and keep looking around until it presents itself to us. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Oh, yeah. And, just explore the world and just, I guess what you guys are doing, just interview people, debate people. And, that's how you're going to learn the truth, is just talk to people and explore the world.
So to be honest, I don't have a lot of disagreement there. You may say, I believe ghosts do exist, and I don't know why. And I might say, well, I don't really think ghosts exist because I don't see a reason why. And we're both kind of opposite. But I think we both have the same sort of outlook of, yeah, but once evidence presents itself, or once we know more, we know more. So I don't really see that I disagree with anything there.
Hey, Johnny, we're getting a lot of background noise on your end.
Oh, I'm walking by like a marching band. I'm not kidding.
That's awesome.
I thought I heard something like boom, 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 boom.
That's awesome.
So I missed it. So I'll let you continue, Laura.
Oh no, I had just asked, or I not that I asked a question. I kind of made the statement that Johnny's position, my position, in terms of whether or not ghosts exist, are the same in the sense that once we see the evidence, then we're good, but we don't know either way. His default is, but I think they probably do exist. And my default is, well, I don't know that they exist. But in terms of his method of proving it, I don't have any disagreement with him that hey, once there's finally evidence, then we can believe it. I mean, that's what I heard you say, Johnny, correct?
Well, look at things like radiation and dark matter and stuff like that, just think of if he said stuff like that exists in the Middle Ages, they probably think you're crazy, but now we found it. So
yeah, so we have terms of, or we have methods of measuring these things now that we didn't have back then. And so there's these things that exist that we didn't know existed, Like people didn't even know that air molecules existed. They called it ether or aether, right? And different words for it, or it was spirit, right? But
well, yeah,
you're
that
right.
one's
There's a lot of invisible stuff that we didn't know existed until we had the means of measuring it. And so I think I agree with you there that like there may be other invisible stuff that's out there. We just don't have the terms to measure or the means to measure it yet. Where I would disagree with you is in just embracing the belief just because.
Well, yeah, but it's my First Amendment right. I can do it if I want.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Well, that's one thing we should probably clarify is anyone out there can believe whatever they want to believe. I wouldn't say you're not allowed to. I
No.
might just say I disagree with you.
Exactly.
I've talked to some people that say that basically should not be allowed to because I believe in weird things, and that's really the only weird thing I believe in. I'm like skeptical about most other things.
That brings up another topic. This is probably too deep to dive into this show, and I'm probably not the person to be talking about this, but if somebody has no clue how you know what? I'm not going down this road. Never mind. It was about voting, but I'm not getting into it because it's just going to open up this gigantic can of
worms. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, what else are you going to talk about?
Ghosts, and when is the time to believe that ghosts are real?
I think, it sounds silly, but I really think there's going to be a day when they got a ghost in a jar somewhere.
I mean, I hope so.
That would be cool.
Until we have a ghost in a jar, should we really believe ghosts are true? Like for me, there are things that have happened in my life where I'm like, oh my God, I can't explain that. But, as I said earlier, that's kind of where it ends for me. So why jump to ghosts rather than just saying, hey, there's some unexplained things happening?
I don't know. It's almost like if you have like a thought experiment, like I like to do a lot of times, like what if God came down and said, okay, I'm going to ask you if something's true or not, and I'm God, so I can tell if it's true, and you get $1 million if you guess right. And he said, well, do you believe in ghosts? I'd be like, yeah, I think ghosts are probably real. That's how I would answer, even though maybe
it's sort of like a gut feeling kind of thing. So it's sort of like I feel that they're real or I think that they're real. You're not making
there's
the positive
a ghost here right now, or there's a Bandaid in the damn walls. I don't know what's going on.
I'm blaming Bandaid.
There's a Bandaid in the walls?
Oh, my cat.
His cat.
My cat is named Bandaid. I just keep hearing like this boom, boom all over, and I'm like looking, trying to find this little fucker.
Well, my Bandaid is named Cat, so I guess that's kind of
sweet.
So
I'm kidding.
What would you say is the most compelling story you have for ghosts?
Well, I don't know. My sister saw a ghost, and my mom was a ghost. But that's not because I don't know if that's why I believe or if I just would have felt it anyways.
Can you explain to me what you mean by your mom was a ghost? Because that's really compelling to me.
Yeah, well, she more or less died on the operating table, and she said she was floating above the table, and she could see the doctors working on her, and she could see people walking around and on all sorts of stuff. Pretty typical.
She had a near-death experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, it's weird. I'm not even sure ghosts are necessarily people, but maybe they could be. But I think it's just intelligent, invisible things around us.
I know, so that's kind of two separate things. One is you believe in ghosts because your mother had a near-death experience, which would be synonymous with a soul, like ghosts and souls are sort of the same thing. And then you also have this other concept of ghosts where they're not human souls, but they're actually these other energetic beings that we just can't perceive or can't see. And so they're sort of like two completely separate theories that you have here.
I don't know if I believe in it because of her, but I don't know. But maybe that's what they are. But I just kind of like, although maybe I don't want to like jump to conclusions too much. But I'm just kind of like, if I just have a gut feeling there's really ghosts,
So
and
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you don't necessarily have any type of evidence, but you just feel ghosts are real. Is that, I'm not trying to misrepresent you.
I have no evidence at all, and like, you're gonna be skeptical. I totally respect that, but I'm just like, you know, I'm not gonna change my mind very easily, you know.
So why would you so easily jump to the conclusion that there is a ghost and then also say you're not going to change your mind easily?
I don't know. I just when I hear the idea, it just kind of makes sense to me, and I just kind of choose to embrace it, you know.
So here's,
and I'm used to.
Go ahead. We all kind of talked over each other. You can go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, sorry. I used to feel like weird about it when I was a kid. It's kind of like, yeah, but you know, I don't want to like be watching Ghostbusters and tell the kid next to me, you know, that's actually not too far from the truth. You know, I didn't want to be that weird kid, you know, but now I'm just kind of like, I don't care what people think anymore.
So no, and I think it's important for us to be able to discuss these things, you know, publicly and friendly, and, you know, be able to have a back and forth dialogue. How important is truth to you?
Oh, like, probably like, I don't know, at least the top 5.
So like whether or not a specific claim is true, in order for you to accept it as true, how important is whether or not it actually is true to you? How much do you care about the actual truth of a claim?
Probably like it's in the top 5. My number 1 would be like survival.
So I'm a little bit confused by that. Like when you say top 5, because I think what we're talking about.
You know, if you had a truth to either die or to leave the truth, what would you choose? Or like, if you had, I got that backwards. If you had a choice, like someone's going to tell me the truth and then I'm going to die, or someone's not going to tell me anything and I can live my life the rest of my life, what would you choose?
Okay, so assuming that you're going to live both ways, right? No matter what, you're going to live both in both.
No, that's not part of my hypothetical. That's part of yours.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about whether or not ghosts are true. So if you stop believing that they're true, you're not going to die. No one's holding a gun to your head and saying that
you say like how important truth is to me. I'll say, well, it's like super important, but like, you know,
but not as important as life and death.
In life, you probably choose life.
Okay, so fair enough. I can kind of work with that, right? So in that case, if you wanted to hold a belief, would it matter to you, yes or no, like that belief was true, or does it only matter to you that you want to hold that belief? I just said yes or no and then didn't ask a yes or no question.
Oh, I guess mostly that's true, but I don't know. I want to hold to it because I think it's true.
Okay, cool. So I think what you're saying, what Ethan was looking for is, do you believe it because you want to believe it, or do you believe it because you think that it's true? And you're saying that you do think that it's true. And I guess where we are having trouble connecting with that is when we say, why do you think that it's true? And there just doesn't seem to be a whole bunch there for why you think it's true, other than you just want to.
There isn't that much there. That's probably why I'm a bad caller.
No, it's not that you're a good caller. It actually makes you a great caller because there's a lot of discussion here. Like,
and you're being honest. You're not trying to like. You're being transparent. You're saying I don't know. So yeah, no, you're definitely not a bad caller. But I would like to continue this conversation again, and I'm wondering if I could invite you to call back. But what I would ask is if you could spend just a little more time thinking about your most compelling, like sit down and review why you believe in ghosts. Find the most.
I can't think of anything more compelling than what I told you. And if that's not good, that's not good enough. I don't know what I wouldn't believe me either.
That is honest.
That's very honest and that's a very good answer, right? So what you're saying is you just hold a belief.
I might believe me, but I wouldn't blame you for not believing me. And I talk to UFO people and they're all like, if you don't believe in UFOs, you're in denial. And I'm like, well, that's kind of overstating it, you know.
Well,
So I'm not gonna. I don't think people that doubt ghosts are in denial. I think you know. I think that, you know, you have a right to be, not just you know. Well, of course you have a right to be skeptical, but I mean, I can see why you'd be skeptical. And
I
if I was
appreciate
in
that.
your
That's
position,
cool.
I might not believe me.
well,
So that's
Johnny, I really we're gonna move on to the next caller. I really appreciate the time you've given us today, and I do want to talk to you more about the politics, though. So, if you're willing, Kenneth Leonard's going to be on next week. He's a political powerhouse. I would love
yeah.
to have you call back and let's dive further into the political side of this discussion.
Well, yeah, but he's probably like studied this his whole life. I'm the nobody. He's just going to use
Dude.
me to track.
No.
Okay. Kenneth Leonard is a really, really nice guy. And to be clear, I don't be so hard on yourself. I always actually say the same thing. Like, oh, I'm just a friggin' retired DJ. I don't know this shit. And I don't, man. Like listening to people like Laura and Kenneth and Eric Murphy and Vian, listening to them talk is overwhelming at times. It's like, holy crap. Like, how do these people know so much? And I feel out of my element all the time. But I think most of them are all very patient and you know, more than willing to educate people. So please don't ever feel like out of your depth or you don't know enough to call in. You're honest and you're friendly, and those are two really good qualities in a caller. So I would love to have you call back next week.
I second that. I really appreciated your
Tell my
call.
parents
I thought it was nice.
If your parents call in, I will absolutely tell them that. Now, granted, as a skeptic, I guess I've only had one interaction with you, so I can't necessarily say I know you're the most friendly person, but based on this individual single call, you do appear to be very friendly and honest.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a
Thank
good
you
one,
for calling
Johnny.
in, and I hope to hear from you next week. Oh,
Okay,
and
I'll try.
send me a Facebook message if you can. Facebook.com/Ethan F. Micheal.
Okay, I'll try.
All right. Thanks, Johnny.
Okay.
Bye.